Hey, sit down.
That's exactly
now.
right.
What do you think about National Bullying Awareness Week? Is it going to do the trick? Is it going to solve the problem?
Of course not. It's a silly thing. It's just like this whole campaign that Canada had to eradicate hate, as Mark Stein pointed out. Not the crime, not the speech, the actual human emotion. Bullying is a natural part of being a young man. There's a whole Lord of the Flies hierarchy there that you cannot regulate. And to try to regulate it is to put kids in a bubble that's going to do them more harm than good because they won't be prepared for the real world. You know, there's fights. There's real physical fights every day. It's not just in business, it's how we live.
I don't know why this is such a popular trend, emotion-based politics. Maybe it's because women are getting involved in politics, or maybe they want to get young people more involved. I think it's just business. The New York Times wants as many people to read it as possible. So they go on this heartstring, this disingenuous information, just to make a sweet sort of kid's story. But I mean, it's not sweet, but every article they have has this sort of Oprah tint to it. Legalization, but I think it's possible to be anti-pot and pro-legalization.
I agree with you on that, but explain.
I smoke pot,
Yes.
but I do it for horror movies, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and lovemaking.
Very good.
It should not be in the workplace.
No.
It should not be out socializing. You shouldn't do it when you're going out in case someone slaps your girl and you have to fight.
Yeah, that's true.
18 to 25, it's very bad for you. You lose your ambition. It's bad for students. You can't get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
So let's recognize that though it should be legal, it is bad.
But if you don't pay tax, you can't vote.
That was what my father always said.
Really? I've just been obsessed with this recently, thinking, you're not a customer. You don't have a say in how this
Right.
restaurant goes. That's like strangers coming in off the street, homeless men,
Right.
and saying, I want this on the menu, and then walking out.
Views.
Can you name one?
He's sexist.
In what sense?
The fact that he doesn't support abortion and the woman's right to choose.
But I think a good 50% of women in America are also pro-life.
A lot of women aren't.
Right, but if 50% of a group is something, then...
I'd like to see those statistics.
All right, well, if hypothetically 50% of the women were pro-life, would it still be sexist to be anti-abortion?
I'd really like to see your statistics.
I know, but hypothetically, if I was
I
right...
don't go by hypothetical.
Well, we don't have a computer here. We can't look it up.
So I can't answer your question.
All right.
Everyone has to be involved in politics now. So women are on board, and they have to have an opinion, and young people have to have an opinion, and they don't belong in the political discourse. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone has to be in Dungeons and Dragons now, and they're throwing these 14-sided die going, 20-sided. Bernie Sanders, What are they doing here? It should only be landowners. If you don't have Esquire at the end of your name, you can't be involved in politics.
So boys and girls, Gavin fucking McGuinness. Quickly before this video starts, if you guys like Gavin as much as I do, make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button down below to be updated as soon as new videos go live. Also, this is the second part, so I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to see the first part of this video. Anyway, enjoy today's video.
Don't fucking let anyone spit in your fucking face. Jesus Christ. Michelle Fields gets touched, takes a picture of someone's bruised arm, and we all have a heart attack. We get our faces spit on and hope we use the right pronoun when responding. Who are we arguing with? People from the Star Wars bar?
So obviously you haven't done your research, and you're just going along.
Did you shoot Han Solo first?
Go do some research, come back with some quotes, okay? You don't know. Hey, this dude just...
I'm a tranny. No, go ahead. Touch a woman.
This tranny just spit on my face.
Punch a woman.
He just spit on
Hear what he's saying? Punch a woman. Punch a woman. And look at them. Someone spits in your face and you get on your phone. Oh, wait, sorry. I should shut up. Go back to her a bit. Because her concern when her people are spitting on people is pronouns. That's where we're at.
So what, you pushed the woman or what?
Ew, wait, go back. I'm sorry. Look at her fucking eyebrows after she says don't call her a him.
So what, you pushed the woman?
Ew! Ew, look at that fucking face!
What a snarky cunt. And look at her retarded friend there trying to grasp what's going on. I forgot what I am again. Am I a chick? You know how when you're a kid you go left, right, and then you go, oh yeah, that's an L, that's left. I get the feeling that that chick on the right is constantly checking her pussy and going, oh yeah, no dick. I'm a bull dyke. That's it, bull dyke. I like chicks, but I'm not a dude. Yeah, there's no dick there. Ew! Look at her demeanor. It's giving me fucking hives. Ew, her nostrils. Every muscle on her face. Ew, get out of here.
Oh my God.
Oh my, she's making my shoulder blades ache. Go back. I'm gonna watch her face this whole show. Cancel our guests. Oh! And then we get the nostrils. Holy shit! Ah!
Oh my God.
This is what happens when you give women unlimited power. They become cunts. We've had power for 250,000 years. We're used to it. It's like, I keep going back to Vince Neil. He gets 5 blowjobs backstage a night. He can handle it. You blow Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm special. Don't call my penis that. It's a he. Oh, you're interviewing me again. Well, you know, the interesting thing about aliens is there's no intelligent life down here. So why would they want to speak to us? I mean, obviously they want to speak to me. I'm an astrophysicist. But a lot of these Republicans, I have a funny feeling that the Martians spoke to some redneck hillbilly and said, no thank you. Someone blew me. I'm famous. Vince Neil's like, I know they're dumb. I have long blonde hair. I fucking am on stage. Fine. Suck it. Bye. I killed a guy.
Okay. Are men being discriminated against?
Yes, clearly. I mean, the data shows it from danger in the workplace to alimony payments to all these perpetual myths that, like, women make less money than men. And we accept it because we can take it on the chin. We're very nice guys. But I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of the way we're portrayed in sitcoms. I'm getting sick of the way fatherhood is trivialized and single motherhood is put on a pedestal because it's bad for America. And I used to think women were too stupid to understand this, but let's treat them like grown-ups and say sexism in 2014 is a myth, and we're going to have to get back to what matters, and what matters is fatherhood.
Okay, so you're saying that alimony is totally skewed because men end up paying more of it, although women earn a lot more money now than when the laws and the rules were kind of set in place.
40% of women are breadwinners in America, in American households. 90% of the alimony payments are by men to women. Yeah. The numbers don't add up, and women should be able to do the same math that men can do. No?
Jill?
I think your math is bad. Women are 40% of breadwinners in American households because of so many single mothers. You have a lot of women that were never married in the first place when they have children. So they
and they choose that lifestyle, and that's child abuse.
Well, they don't have anyone to pay those alimony payments to. What? Alimony payments are gender neutral. There are plenty of women pay alimony payments to husbands. No. And same with child support payments.
No.
Madonna lost $76 million on her failed marriage to Guy Ritchie.
She's not your typical broad. Look, the alimony concept was invented when it was the Nona cooking a spaghetti the whole life, and then she gets a band, she goes, I made spaghetti for you guys my whole life, and now I don't know have the skills. But now that women are working in the real world...
I didn't realize that's what it was. I'm so glad you
I didn't realize alimony was invented in Italy.
Yeah.
It was invented for
It was called alimonia.
It was invented for old-fashioned moms. We got new moms. You want equality? You don't get alimony. Sorry.
I think it's important to distinguish between the kind of equality that you're talking about, which is you're basically saying that women shouldn't have money to provide for their children. Men shouldn't have to pay money to provide for their children. When men actually petition for for custody of their children, they're very likely to get it.
What?
That's actually not true.
That actually is.
That is total bull.
When men actually request custody of their children, they almost always get at least joint custody.
Men always lose custody battles.
There's a get it and they almost always get joint custody. I mean, there's a very big difference.
There's a massive bias against men on custody battles.
It's rare in contentious divorce proceedings where both parties are advocating for sole custody of the children. Most people that get divorced do actually come up with child support settlements and child care agreements that both parties can agree on.
Do you agree with Gavin
really
about fatherhood? That fatherhood is the missing link in society, and if there were more dads, I don't know, kids would be better off?
Yeah, I think fatherhood is a missing link. Yes, I do actually agree that we do need to talk about things like workplace injuries and deaths among men, that we do need to talk about the fact that men are much more likely to commit suicide and succeed than women, that we have a mental health care crisis among men, that men in America and around the world do suffer. But I think a lot of that suffering comes out of traditional gender roles and these expectations that men act tough, that they don't display emotion, and that they don't seek help. And I think that's also why we have a fatherhood crisis. I think all of these issues matter.
I think those are two different things. I actually think to your first point, we're actually coming out of that, and we've rounded the bend on things like mental health.
Feminists see single motherhood and they go, sisters are doing it for themselves. And sisters are abusing their children. If you have children knowingly as a single mom, you're starting a child out with a disadvantage.
Did your parents stay married?
Yes. They did.
Well, sometimes marriage doesn't work out, Gavin.
Sometimes marriage doesn't work out.
It doesn't make you a child abuser.
It does if you choose that. If you choose to be a single mom, which is the majority of single moms.
Gavin, I think that's a weird claim. Sometimes marriage doesn't work out, and sometimes dad is a jerk. He's just an awful person.
Let's talk numbers.
And you actually don't want him in the household.
How many times?
But let's get back to some of these outcome disparities that the conversation seems to revolve around, because I think it's wrong for us, and I've done this before with race stuff. I think it's wrong for us to focus on the disparity and not focus on exactly what the phenomenon is, and just accept the fact that sometimes there are outcomes, and the outcomes happen to be disparate among men and women, and there isn't some sort of conspiracy being perpetrated against anyone. You said that sexism is dead. I would agree, it's probably dead, and perhaps there are some social values that are producing some not intentional or deliberate consequences, but are perhaps producing some things that we don't necessarily intend.
It may well be intentional. There's evidence that the CIA
there's nothing you can do about it from a policy standpoint at all.
That's actually true.
Okay, that's
sure.
It sounds really funny coming.
We
from Gavin.
reward single moms with welfare payments.
Okay, but let me
reward destroyed families.
Hold on just a second.
I would love to see you survive off of welfare payments. It's not like women are living high on the hog with their $300 a month to care for their children.
It's not $300 a month. Welfare with food stamps and more than 3 kids is more like $1,200 a month.
Okay, so Jill, let me ask you this: is sexism dead?
No, sexism is not dead. Sexism is alive and well. If you look at the statistics, even among American women, which I know one of Gavin's talking points is that if you want to find sexism, you have to go abroad, and American women are just fine. American women do make less money. Yes, the gender gap has been pretty much not entirely erased, but it's been very much condensed among young single women without children. But as soon as
they make more money, young single women without children. That's more money than men.
That's what she's saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they make more money.
How do you argue with someone who just keeps making up figures?
I'm not making up figures.
Single women without kids make more money than men.
Figures? Like, which figure do we trust? Because the president has been talking about 77 cents, that women make 77 cents on the dollar for every man. What are the figures?
And what is debunked a lot of
what
that.
Can
and
we actually
it's
accept?
not just maternity. It's also men are more willing to do things like ask for a raise. And men are more willing to work in more difficult jobs that pay them a greater salary. It's not as cut and dried as, and by the way, Gavin brought up a really good point. If employers thought they could get away with paying people 77 cents on the dollar, all major companies would only hire women.
They do it with illegal aliens already.
I wish that was true. I mean, there's
another show, Gavin.
There was a really interesting study that was done, I think 2 or 3 years ago, where they had they were looking at resumes of people applying for jobs as lab assistants. And these resumes were identical in terms of work experience and education. And all they did was change the name on the resumes from male to female. And what they found is that the male-named resumes were accepted and offered higher salaries overwhelmingly versus the female-named resumes. And the only difference here is the name. So I do think that there are some deep-seated sexist ideas within American society. Nobody's going out and saying, I don't want to hire a woman.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're reading a male name and they're inferring bring into that a level of competence.
Looking at it, prejudice. It's called postjudice. They've seen these males stay up all night. No, it's the definition of postjudice. They've noticed a pattern, and they said, gee, my male employees tend to stay here all night, whereas my female employees tend to prefer to go to their daughter's ballet recital. I think I'm going to err on the side of my experience, which tends to be I'm more profitable when I hire men.
Okay, so Jill, if sexism alive, is there sexism against men?
I do think that there is. I don't want to compare the discrimination that men face and the challenges that men face to the long-standing institutionalized oppression that women have faced for centuries.
Okay.
I think those are two different things. That doesn't mean, though, that men don't face very serious challenges, many of which I do think stem from these traditional ideas about gender and who should be doing what. I think sexism hurts men and women alike.
All right, well, Jill and Gavin, we're going to have you guys back to talk about something really uplifting and fun. They're going to be talking about divorce a little later in the show, and that's going to be great. It's going to be so calm and wonderful. All right, thank you both. We're going to see them in just a few minutes. From men to boys, if you have a son, you might agree with our next guest. The war on pint-sized men. Is it on? Stay with us. It's The Independent. It continues in moments.
Now, you are a woman.
I am.
How long have you been a woman for?
A
while. 20s?
A while now, yeah.
Okay. So this, I just find it amazing that you guys are half the population, and we know so little about you. Yeah. The first thing that I've always wondered is why you guys can't do machine gun sounds.
Oh, I don't know. I think I can do machine gun sounds.
Okay, I'll demonstrate, and then you just mimic it. Ready?
Okay. I think I'll spit everywhere.
That's fine.
Maybe we can't.
That's just a farty sound.
Maybe we can't.
Your lips aren't involved. No, don't do that. It's.
I'm spitting everywhere.
Go.
On you, potentially.
Spit all you want.
I can't do it.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you know this, and you might want to tell other people in the woman community, but pew pew is not a laser gun.
Pew pew.
Yeah, that does not count. We're
No?
not gonna, no. A laser goes.
I can
Oh,
do
that's
that.
pretty good. Oh my God! Can you teach other women how
I
to
will.
do that?
I'll take
that
it
would be
with me.
wonderful. What's it like being a woman?
It's a lot of work,
Oh yeah.
I'd say. Got to deal with you guys.
Yeah. You literally have to deal with
Have
those if we're going to
to.
continue the species.
Right.
When you guys put on like something that feels good, like a silk sock, right? If I put on a silk sock, I'd go, "Oh, this sock's kind of flimsy." But you guys, I feel like you're more sensual.
Oh yeah.
Like
Have you
you
ever seen
go,
a woman
"Ooh."
shop? It's like touching everything.
You really, do you maybe have more nerve endings in your skin?
Maybe. Imagine.
So nice fabrics feel better on you.
Probably.
Can I just adjust one of your hairs?
Please do. Thank you.
Why do you guys all want to have a $10,000 Hermes bag called a Birkin?
I don't know.
It seems like a very frivolous waste of money.
It does, but we might say that about some kind of vehicle or something.
At least a vehicle takes you from A to B.
A purse can probably take you places too.
But if you had a Birkin, you couldn't go anywhere with it because it might get robbed. It's like walking around with a giant diamond.
True, I guess so.
So you would love to have a Birkin.
Well, it's all relative, right?
Okay, what if you had $540,000 in the bank?
Okay.
Would you spend 10 of it on a Birkin?
Am I done at the end of that 540,000?
It just happens to be your savings. Your grandma died and she was rich.
Yeah, I probably would.
Wow. What about this Cartier bracelet you guys love with the $7,000 bucks?
Yeah, that's not my thing.
Oh, really? You don't like that?
I see at least a bag holds things.
Okay. When you make out with a guy who has a beard, is part of it just like, we got to get through this, or do you really like it? This
Oh, it
big
hurts.
mustache. It's chafing, right?
And then I'm all like red.
So is a lot of horsing around with men just sort of lying back and thinking of England?
England, why?
Or
England?
Canada? I mean, it's not that, a lot of it is just sort of like, whew, here we go.
I suppose it
Better
could
than
be.
being lonely.
Could be.
Really?
Yeah.
So, because I've noticed with sexual fantasies as a man, they have to be totally plausible, and you have to like meter at 8, and you need gas in your car when you drive in the fantasy. But you guys will just do like the color orange or a sunset, or maybe even a song. Like you don't have
scenarios where he's like, hey, what's going on?
There could totally be scenarios. Who told you that?
I just assumed it.
Oh, don't assume any.
So you guys make up scenarios?
Yes.
Okay. Are pads kind of considered an old lady thing?
Yes.
So it's for losers.
That's it for losers.
So if you had a new friend and you thought, this chick's kind of cool, she might become my new best friend. And then you went to her house and you saw a big, like a Costco thing, a Walmart-sized thing of Always with Wings. Would you go, ew, what a loser?
Yes.
You'd be disappointed in her.
I'm not disappointed. I'd feel bad.
You'd feel sorry for her. It's like having a burn on your face.
Whoa.
Using pads. It's like being
well,
cross-eyed.
Not on her face.
Right, but it's in the same genre. It's like a friend who's cross-eyed. You love them, but you go, that's unfortunate, the lazy eye.
I guess like that.
Pads
yeah.
are a lazy eye.
It's the lazy eye of womanhood.
Okay. Do you care what a man's body looks like? Super funny, ambitious dude.
No.
Fat as a tub.
No.
Don't care.
I don't think so.
You know what's weird? Men don't really care. Women don't really. No. Look at you could have a sphere with just shoes on the bottom and hair on top. And she has a husband. She has kids. Someone loves her.
True.
Maybe none of us have standards.
Maybe.
No one's considered that one.
No.
It's 7 billion, 40,000 years of post-Neanderthal. Maybe we decided that standards isn't helping the human race. The whole idea of standards is a myth. We just discovered that live on this show.
The next video is Gavin's reaction to the video Communist Tranny Spits in Trump Supporter's Face. You'll find the original video in the description.
Thank you.
What is your job?
I'm a graphic designer.
Are you gay?
I am queer.
Oh, you don't use the term gay?
Well, I'm not gay, I'm bisexual.
Oh, I've always been suspicious of bisexual. It seems like a phase.
Oh, well.
I see a lot of old bi people.
Oh, well, you're pretty ignorant.
Okay. Well, this has been very enlightening.
We're ready for a woman president. I don't think we're ready for Hillary Clinton.
But she's a woman.
Well, that doesn't mean she should be president.
So it's more. You have to be more than just a woman to be a viable candidate?
No, I just think it should be the right woman. And my personal opinion is it's not Hillary Clinton.
So just being a woman isn't enough?
Nope.
Today we've got places like Dearborn, Michigan, which are basically fifth columns for Islam. So it is here in America.
It is here.
And in the UK, we just had a child pedophile ring going on that wasn't investigated by the police because they didn't want to appear racist. So I think this sort of cultural relativism is really dangerous. Why are you so focused on these rich white males who are essentially trying to get the economy going, trying to sell you stuff, trying to keep you happy because happy keeps the economy going? I mean, Jack Welch, the CEO of GE, he doesn't want women getting raped. He doesn't have time for that. He's worried about the bottom line. He doesn't have time for racism either. If he's looking at a resume, okay, this is a new accountant. Oh, good. He's going to save us $250,000 a year in tax? Oh, my God. He's that smart? And he's only asking for $150K? Well, the guy's a living profit machine. Of course I'm going to... Oh, he's a black man. Both are poorer than a gap like this where the rich are rich, where the poor are richer, but the gap is bigger. Would you rather have both down here than a big gap with the poor slightly higher?
I think it would make for a healthier society.
To be down here?
To be closer to equal, yeah.
And do you think the government's role is to regulate that and impose it on the society?
To some extent.
So you're a socialist?
I wouldn't say that, but I believe in some socialist ideals.
Have you ever been to the DMV?
Yep.
These are the people, these fucking bureaucrats with no interest in being there, these rude, lazy morons are going to be handling your justice. You're imparting your freedom and your liberty and your equality. You're saying, hey, shitheads, can you run my life, please?
The columnist Gavin McInnes, Deirdre Imus, the co-host of Fox and Friends First. Ainsley, who went down upon Panama City Beach, Florida, is here with us for this report. All right, so I lived in Santa Barbara Isla Vista, it's a 60 retro at UC Santa Barbara. And like they celebrate the burning of the bank that took place in the 60s.
Right.
It's a big holiday down there. This doesn't surprise me, but this is another level of what happens during spring break.
Well, this is what the sheriff down in Panama City said. This is the reason they don't go out on the beach and patrol the beaches as much, because they're scared that this will happen. He says all it takes is just a few seconds for all of these kids to have this riot and gang up against these officers. You have kids that slap and punch the officers and run away, and they don't know where these kids went. Or it could even be worse. They could pull out a weapon.
Well, now one cop in particular was hurt pretty severely.
There were 5 deputies that were injured. One was hit in the face with a brick. The most severe was a university police officer. He was hit in the head with a backpack that was full of large bottles of liquor and alcohol, and face gashed. You know, it's very dangerous. Flying rocks, bottles, bricks, street signs, you see that in the video being knocked down, small fires, and officers go in to try to break it up, and then there's a riot. 15,000 kids, Sean.
Yeah, and just descending on Santa Barbara, Isla Vista, in that area.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right around the UC Santa Barbara campus.
Exactly, it's most of those kids.
You see this. You know, one of the things that kept coming up last week when we were doing this story was, why do parents allow their kids to go? They don't only let them go, they facilitate it. They pay the money to go to Cancun, Florida, in this case, California. Why would parents do that?
Well, they're raising brats, and spoiled brats, that is, because, again, and you've been doing great coverage on this. I watched all of it last week. When you guys cover this, it's amazing. You're right. Would you pay for? I'm not going to pay for my kid to go down to spring break to just drink and do drugs. I don't even drink.
You won't even let your kid eat a cheeseburger. So, I mean,
no, and I also don't drink. And so a lot of that comes from parents. If your parents are sitting home drinking, and a lot of these mothers do party with their kids now. You see this in high school even. Yeah. And so a lot of these parents, if you look at the parents,
they
that's
drink
where
with
this
their
comes
kids?
From.
They smoke pot
They're
with
drinking,
their kids?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem now because they want to be the kid's friend rather than be the parent.
I agree with you.
Well, let's not pretend we can control kids. These are adults, and if they want to sneak off to what is essentially a drunken orgy, then you can pretend you can control them, you can withhold the money, but you work at a gas station 10 shifts, you got enough to go down. I got in a lot of trouble the other day for simply saying a hypothetical scenario. Your son and your daughter, on their own accord, snuck down to what is essentially a drunken orgy. Who are you more worried about? And you're obviously more worried about your daughter. But this has become a sexist thing to say.
Well, hang on. I actually have those comments because you created a bit of a firestorm. All weekend long, people have been commenting about it. Let's go back to the video. This was our Audience Edition show on Friday, and this is what Gavin said.
My daughter, there's no way in hell she's going there. But with my sons, I hope they have a great time. And I hope they enjoy
with women. Alcohol poisoning.
Oh, yeah.
Boys
One
can
a
wind
year.
up in a hospital
That happens
bed.
everywhere. That's youth. Getting pregnant is much more harmful than having some uncomfortable sex and getting mugged. The women there are human garbage whose parents don't love them.
Nice jacket, Gavin. Where'd you get that?
Gavin, that's going to backfire on you because those same guys that are going down to spring break and learning how to do that, they're the ones that are going to date your daughters.
Yes.
So you don't want them to have this type of a reputation.
This is the problem with all this big picture talk. Like, we're all Stalin and we can control the universe. Spring break is going on, okay? Promiscuous sex is going on. The idea of consensual sex down there is awash. It's a gray area. Now, if a boy...
What do you mean by that?
When a woman has had 10 beers shotgun down her throat, then she...
So you think it's okay that then it's not rape or sexual assault?
And you think it's okay to send your sons down there?
That's what's happening. The males are sexually assaulting these females.
Wait a minute. If a woman chooses to drink all of that, assuming she's making the choice to funnel that beer,
right,
and she goes back to this guy's hotel room, and they hook up.
This is what everyone says. Everyone goes, what about the sons? Your sons are out there raping chicks. First of all, if it's easier for people to think about, focus on the 100-milers that you talked about who come in from out of town. You sent your daughter into an area where people, the dregs of society, are coming in from 100 miles away and preying on these wasted girls. Now, yes, sons are having sex with women that is in a gray area of consensual. That's not great. I'm not bananas about that. But the son doing that is a very unfortunate, gross, sad, pathetic thing. A daughter doing that, oh my God, it's the end of the universe. She can get pregnant.
So you say there's a double standard?
Or the male
there is a double standard. It's called different genitalia.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the male. Where's the male? The male has to impregnate her, Gavin.
Of course, but one is worse than the other. You're the one missing stuff.
But those are the kind of guys, when I was single, I avoided when I was dating.
Yes,
because I
try
didn't want
avoiding
them to
them
have...
after 14 beers.
Well, I wouldn't put myself in that situation.
You know what?
Because
That's what I'm screaming.
Because I had a father and a mother that taught
We all
me
have
not to do
fathers
that.
and mothers. You know the kind of crazy, stupid stuff we all did as teenagers?
I know, but Gavin, it's different now. It's so different now.
Yes, that's also my point. These kids grow up with porn. Third base, if any of us saw what third base is today, we would have to wash our eyeballs for a fortnight.
Part of it, yes, you say you didn't do that and wouldn't do that, but...
All right, let me move on really quick.
I went to spring break, but I didn't see what I saw in Panama City and the stories I heard from the police officers happening on the beaches of America.
Exactly. I had never seen footage like that.
Right.
That's the difference.
It's happening. It's
social
happening.
media. And the kids don't seem to care. They
All
don't
right.
care at all.
We have like a minute and a half left. Let me go quickly to the Oscar Pistorius trial. He took the stand today. I want to get your reaction to this. Watch.
We are so horny that we're sort of like bulls at the rodeo. The second the gate comes open, wagum, let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
Women are totally different.
I completely agree.
It's like a lamb in a field. You have to go, hello, hello, shh, hello. And maybe from 40 feet away, maybe have some lamb food. And go, hey, Buster, hey. And then just take your time. I mean, right off a good 20 minutes. Sometimes you got to give them a fucking massage till your hands hurt.
That is so smart.
And that applies to everything, even pussy eating. You don't just come in like a pig at the trough.
No, that's true.
So I recommend coming in and doing absolutely nothing for maybe a minute, just to add an air of suspense. So you're just sitting there. I love that you're working so hard to. It's so fucking huge what you're doing, because one of the biggest problems in this country is the way the black experience. The way these black kids grow up, the amount of crime in their lives, the fact that with a lot of poor blacks, jail is just seen as a respite where you go to meet your dad or something. We had a guy on the other day talking about that. That is a fucking major problem. And no, I don't think it's the result of racism. I think it's the result of welfare policies that encourage single moms to be single moms. I've always been dubious of Jeb because his wife cannot speak English. And it's clear that Jeb cannot speak English. Heretic is a noun. What he meant to say was, I'm going to say something, and it might be heresy. So this guy's been speaking Mexican for so long that his own English language is atrophying, and he's forgetting how to speak America's mother tongue.
I see.
The guy is a scourge.
Now, wait a minute. Now, tell me, though.
Isn't that when you get caught drunk driving? You know when you get caught drunk driving the cop and you go, I was going to see my friend.
Russia. Are you talking about the motherland?
I'm talking about Russia, where they are soulless robots who don't believe in anything but winning.
This is a Western conspiracy. I'm sure they're fine.
Relax, communist. It's just a game. Why do you have to ruin everything?
I'm talking to a mate of mine, and I'm talking about Tommy Robinson. And I'm saying what I just told you and how he got arrested when he got back, and the police provided him with a map of his hometown, Luton, and where he can't go. And guess where he can't go? The Muslim section. And I'm looking down at Merkel and I'm thinking, as she exponentially increases the Muslim sections, and I start to think myself, we have got a problem here. And I said to my mate, I said, I get the economic argument with staying. I get your side of it. I think I'm on. I even like the Superman thing. I'm in. My only question to you is, what about the Muslim problem? And you know what he said to me? He said, what Muslim problem? You know what I said to that? I said, Britain, exit.